And I showed you the history, every little trade, every little thing that went through. And I think it was like $975 losing trade there. But on the grand scheme of things, it's nothing on that day. You wouldn't even feel that. If every one of those trades were made by you, would you be worried about that $975 that it would have been a loss? For some of you, it's like the end of the fucking world. It's the rock in your shoe. You can't go any further. I can't do this anymore. It hurts too much. You're not ready. So how do you fix that? Go back into back testing. For the guy that sent me a tweet this morning, it said, what do I do if I'm able to see the draw on liquidity? Well, first of all, you got to understand, are you able to do that, or are you using mine? Because if I'm calling the market direction and you're falsely attributing it that you can do that, because many times students come to me in the early stages, they think I'm ready because I'm lending you my experience. I'm giving you my 30 years of experience reading these markets. That way you can decide on where you think the market's going to go. You can ignore me. You can fade me at your peril, but I'm telling you where I believe the market's going to go next. And look at it. We've been doing it for a couple of years now publicly. And you decide, is it accurate? Is it accurate or not? If it is, that's what keeps you here. That's what keeps the community growing. Because if I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, I would be canceled already. Be like, this guy don't know what the fuck he's talking about. You see it. You see the evidence of it. But are you really able to see the next draw on liquidity? If you are, what model are you using? What's the multiplier you're using? What PD array are you using to get into a trade? Is it always changing? As a mentor, I discovered that many of my students wanted to force a specific PD array. And it's usually in the beginning, it's the order block. The least taught thing that I've done, that's the thing that they want. Because everybody doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with it. And I've already said this, that will not be released until it's in a book, because it's been already been abused poorly, from other people. You don't know what an order block is, okay? It has nothing to do with level 2 data. It has nothing to do with the size of orders resting in the market. It has nothing to do with that. It's a change in the state of delivery where the market turns from a buy model to a sell model, from a sell model to a buy model. I have not taught that to anybody. My charter members don't know that. They did not learn that, okay? They have been introduced to an idea. If they were all in a room right now and I said, okay, raise your hand as a private mentorship student, you're all charter members, raise your hand if I taught that. Nobody would raise their hand up. Raise your hand if I said you've just been introduced to it. There's more lectures coming on that. They would all raise their hand. So stop believing these fucking people trying to sell you shit. I got the secrets from ICT's forum. He taught this. He taught Enigma. I am never teaching fucking Enigma. It's not going to be taught to anybody outside my fucking family. My children are going to decide whether or not it ever gets taught. Maybe one of them will sell out their soul and make it a book or make it a course or whatever. I don't give a fuck. It's their decision. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm on a really long rabbit trail. I got to check my notes here, make sure I'm on the right path. So, we talked about that and talked about the model, and the content that I've already released. I hope you guys can appreciate me just talking to you like we've known each other for a long time, because this is how I would talk to you if you were right next to me. If you were doing one-on-one with me, this is how I would talk to you. I wouldn't sugarcoat anything. I would be honest. I would tell you where I made mistakes. I would tell you what I learned from those mistakes, and I wouldn't hide from it, because that's where the real learning occurs. But so many of you are perpetual ICT students, and you don't realize it. And I understand that you like what I do and you like how I do it, and it's great concepts, but don't lose sight of why you are learning. You're all waiting for the next thing to be taught. Just like the folks that always say, when it delivers to where I think it's going to go, and the market goes to whatever level I've outlined publicly, and it does that, they're the first 4 or 5 people that show up in my comment section or reply to a tweet and say, okay, what's next? Now, here's it's either one or the other. It's somebody that's waiting for me to get it wrong, and they're going to champion that all over the internet. He said it was going to do this, and it did that. Okay. Or they're just somebody that wants to always be in the marketplace. And there is a period of time between trades that you have to get real comfortable with. That period between not engaging, when the market delivers something that you've anticipated, but we just watch it unfold in the indices. We watch it unfold in euro dollar index. Okay. So I did things in forex for the crowd that loves forex and know me mostly from that. And I've stayed true to E-mini S&P. I said I was going to focus on E-mini S&P. But before we even started this whole parade, I told you NASDAQ was the one. And if you're trading NASDAQ, keep your focus up on that weekly gap inside that volume imbalance. And we gapped up into it today. Beautifully. I'm satisfied. Now, what does that mean? So that way you understand, you put it in your notes. That means I am literally neutral. I hold no bias right now. What do you mean you don't hold bias? Come on, ICT, you're holding back. No. I enjoy the period of time when I've expected the market to perform a specific way. I submitted myself to that whole time. I didn't arm wrestle it. I bask in it. I peacock around in front of my wife about the time. Okay. You think I'm being funny? I am. I'm fucking really doing it because I want her to see what I do that she thinks is a video game. Like this is hard. It isn't a fucking video game. This is something that takes a lot of skill, a lot of attention, a lot of effort, focus, and you're wrestling with yourself. And on social media, I have all kinds of assholes constantly coming over here trying to promote some idea that would be opposing to whatever I'm saying, hoping that they're right. And most of them are falling on their face. And I just let them talk. I'll mute them, but you don't ever hear from them again. They stop talking their shit. And I go check and see what they're doing. They block me. But I do this to rub my wife. I'm like, hey, look, I said this is what's going to happen, and this is what it is. And she's like unimpressed because she thinks it's fucking PlayStation, like it's some kind of Xbox fucking game. So when you learn how to do this and you get your victories, learn to bask in them. That's not ego. You're going to need those moments to lean on when you go into periods of drawdown. You got to be able to remind yourself, man, it felt really good to get this right, to do everything in the analysis as I was taught, and it performed exactly as I was expecting. This feels good. You need to set up a tent and live there for a little while. Not just say, okay, next trade. That's where you get your ass handed to you. Listen, folks, listen real fucking close. Because this is the truth. Every single time I blew an account came immediately on the heels of something like we just experienced, where I did something right. It performed the way I was expecting. It went to target, and that sugar high wore off, and they wear off fucking quick. You think you're like, oh, you call 1,000 point move, does this, does that, does this, all these wonderful feelings. You get the butterflies, you share it with your friends, you show your coworker, you show your boss, this is what I made. So that way he knows that your fucking pittance of a money paycheck that you give me is nothing to me. It's literally fucking less than one handle on the S&P for me. Go fuck yourself. That wears off fast. That wears off real fast. So what do you want to do? You want to get another hit. You want to get another drag on that joint we call the market. Smoking's bad for you. Don't do that. Smoke the markets. It's healthier. So don't rush. Don't rush to get back in there and do something right away, because what you're feeling is withdrawal. You're all hopped up on fucking goofballs. You did something right, which is great. Champion that. But live there for a little while. Take a week off. You just did something amazing, what most people fail at. You adhered to one rule, which is stick to the model. Don't get caught up with the media. The media was saying, oh, the market's going to crash. Mm-mm. I would like to see it happen. I would like to see us default. It would be painful as shit. It would be a wreck, carnage every fucking where. But that's exactly what should take place. In a real free market, that's what should be happening, and it's not. So you got to keep taking your buy signals. If the market's saying, I'm not going down, and the best pain threshold will be met by going higher. Now, here's narrative. This is where we transition from just market macro perspective talking in generalized commentary to now specifics, where we have a seasonal tendency that even the general populace knows that, if you're a trader in stocks, usually it's the sell in May and go away. I would like to see that form. But what is the chart telling me? There's a weekly volume imbalance. Everything I've taken you to into the charts, because the charts tell the story. Fuck the media. Fuck all the reports. I don't even know what those data points say. Like when CPI comes out, I couldn't tell you to save my own ass what any of that information was or what the data was. I could never tell you. I don't care. I don't care to know because it's all bullshit. It's all fake. It's all manipulation. They use that as a way, like a magician. Okay, if I was standing in front of you, I'm pretty good sleight of hand. I could take something, place it in this hand, and you'd swear up and down that I placed it here and it would be in my other hand. And while you're looking at that hand, I'm dropping it in my pocket or switching it with something else. And then the reveal would be like, how the hell did you just do that? Well, that misdirection, that's what these reports are, folks. So if you've never really got the gist of why I talk about the economic calendar, it's not because I'm a fundamental trader, because fundamentally, I think it's flawed to think about it fundamentally. I'm a technically minded trader. I believe that the charts are telling you in advance how they're going to hurt the people that believe the bullshit. So if you're a person that likes to trade with fundamentals, that will wreck your ass on these intraday charts because they're going to do something. And the easiest thing to do is to go over to Forex Factory. Okay. Go to Forex Factory and click on any one of the news drivers that are high impact or medium impact. Okay. And when you do that, click on the information that tells you how to determine what it means. If this report comes out and if the number's higher, it's good for the currency, or it's good for, whatever, or it's not good for it. It's negative. You expect it to be lower in prices because of it. How many times does it do that? It's 50-50. Don't take my word for it. Go back through the data and see it for yourselves. So if it's 50-50, what fucking use is it to anyone to even worry about what it is? So you got to look at the technicals and you got to ask yourself this question, which is what I teach. Who can be hurt the easiest? Where's the shortest line to pain where profit can be made? When I look at charts, I'm looking at victims. That's what I see. Okay. I see stop loss orders that are easy to take. I see inefficiencies that needs to be revisited to and still keep the context or narrative underway that's in price action that normal retail traders would not expect it to be because they're looking at charts with patterns or they're doing things harmonically. They're looking for Fibonacci ratios to only match up to this point. You're looking at animal patterns and all these other things that they're believing in as a religion. And all of those things I factor in. Yes, I understand harmonic trading. Yes, I understand all that other bullshit, Elliott wave. I understand all that stuff. And when I look at charts, I can see how they're wrong. And when smart money will roll on them. So without needing to teach you all the bullshit, Elliott wave, supply and demand, harmonic patterns, all that dumb shit, I take you right to the narrative, that PD array matrix. It saves me so much time not going through this shit that's going to bog you down. Because I'm getting right to the point. You don't realize I've gotten to the point. Every time I talk to you, it's right to the point. But the problem is where I take you, it's uncomfortable. You want it to be easy. You want it to be right now, real quick understanding. And it's not like that. But the people that put the work behind it and they say, okay, I'm looking for one model. I'm looking for this type of trade. And I'm going to simplify it by only looking for this thing right here. What is that? Could be the breaker. Could be the model in 2022. Could be that. That's it. It could be the silver bullet, which now is removed the whole idea. When does it form? When do you look for it in this? It's offered to you in London session. It's offered to you in the New York session in the morning. And it's offered to you in the afternoon and in the New York afternoon. There's 3 fucking opportunities per day. What are you doing with it? What are you doing? Have you gone back through your own charts and studied it the same way I've been teaching it to you? Remember, if the fair value gap forms, or if it doesn't form rather, on the 5 minute chart, you drop down to the 4 minute chart. If it's not on the 4 minute chart, you drop down to the 3 minute chart. If it's not on the 3 minute, you drop down to the 2. If it's not there on the 2, you drop down to the 1. If it's not there on the 1, you drop down to a 30-second or 15-second. Whether you trade it or not, you study it because you're teaching your mind, your brain. Here's what you're not realizing. When you're looking at price, you're not telling yourself, okay, this is a 60-minute chart and it only works on a 60-minute chart. Your brain's looking at these candlesticks and you're running through this rush of emotions. It's going up, it's going down. You want it to go down. But every time it goes up, you're thinking, it's probably going to fail. It's probably going to be a losing trade. I got this stupid fucking demo trade on. It's going to be a fucking loser. I'm wasting my time with this shit. You're not doing it right. You might be doing a lot of that and saying, I've been studying a lot. Fuck you, ICT. I've not been putting enough time in. I'm tired of hearing that. I'm tired of you pissing and moaning. How about that? How about that? I'm tired of listening to the same couple people bitching about how they don't like being told they're not working the right way. You got to work the right way. You got to follow the fucking rules. If you don't want to follow the rules, of course you're not going to get the results. Of course you're not. You can join a gym. If you never take your fucking ass there, you're never going to get fit. Just because you show up and listen to me talk, you're not lifting the fucking weights. You're not pushing. You're not putting the effort in. You're not doing the repetitions to the degree of failure. Muscle growth comes by failure. You got to take that point where you can't do it anymore. When it's failure, then you've caused damage. The muscle says, okay, fuck this. I got to get stronger. Build more muscle. Well, your brain is the muscle with this. You have to build it up. That means you have to go through that really boring shit. You got to listen to lectures like this where it sounds like I'm chewing your ass out and I don't want you to succeed. When I do want you to succeed, it's your perspective. If you want to come into this as a victim, you're going to see everything and you're a victim to it. The way I teach, you're victimizing the unlearned. You're victimizing the neophyte. They don't know how to fucking trade. They put their stop loss in the wrong place. We're running on them. We're not running in a pack like a wild animals, okay, trying to find whatever moves next. That's reacting to price. Fuck that. We are a cheetah. We know we can run any fucking thing down. We can run anything down. Put whatever fuck you want to put in front of us, whatever method out there, we will run circles around that shit. Nothing can fucking beat what I'm telling you. Nothing can beat this.